Hello, my beautiful aliens, and welcome back to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your host, Carlstone. It is currently 4:05 p.m., Thursday, the 13th of March, 2025, and I'm coming to you live from my mama's car. This episode is going immediately live. I doubt I'm going to edit it. It's an authentic rambles episode all about rejection. I am in my mama's car. Okay, I love this space. It is already a safe space for me when I'm doing my episodes. However, I'm making it extra special by sitting behind my favorite car in the estate, which is a Land Rover. It's like a very old green safari car, and it's beaten up to the core. Like it looks raggedy, but that's how we love it. And me and my broski love this car. He is a car lover. Like if he could marry cars, he absolutely would. And usually, when I'm taking walks in the estate, I come sit next to this car for a rest, or if I'm having conversations with loved ones, or even difficult conversations I don't want to be having, or serious conversations, I come sit there, give myself a moment, and then have the conversation, and then have a moment after that. In today's episode, we are talking all about rejection. Rejection is a feeling that sucks a lot, and it stings, it's very messy. What led me to create this episode, because it's kind of been in my life lately. Two things. I'll start with the most frustrating one is Liverpool. So 2 nights ago, well, a night ago, Liverpool played and we lost. So we're out of the Champions League. And I was very frustrated. I was like, seriously, why on earth would this happen? And I was extra frustrated because someone I know was ill and they called me to inform me that they're sick, and they're just checking in because they said they had a dream about me. And I thought I thought that they dreamed I'm dead. Guys, it's Ramadan. Okay, I've been listening to Omar Suleiman, and he has been talking a lot about death lately. I will link the Ramadan series down below, which has reminded me to send it to my uncle because I absolutely love and adore it. And anyway, back to the episode. So I was listening to the Ramadan series. Death has been on my mind a lot. Had another instance where I had a dream that morning. I was having a conversation with someone and it felt otherworldly, kind of like an angel. Not my, I don't know, not my grandfather, because it was very sweet. I felt like I was speaking to him, but I wasn't. So it was interesting. And then my mom informed me a few hours after that conversation that a family member had passed away. And I was like, wow, that is too many. It felt very synchronized in a very woo woo crazy way for my liking. But this person called me, leading it back into rejection. This person called me and was like, hey, I'm sick. They were literally vomiting blood nonstop that they had to even break their fast. And they were like, God accept in Islam we believe God accepts prayers for those who are sick. Not all the time, but like it's highly likely you're probably accepted. And this person goes, I pray Liverpool loses tonight. And I actually hung up the phone on them. I said, the fucking audacity you have to pray for that. Like, what is wrong with you? Genuinely, it's like, I get it. I tease people too, but that is just mean. I'm not lie. And the fact that it actually happened angered me even more. Not gonna lie, I know Liverpool had a loss coming, so hey. But I was like, after I spent my time talking to my dad about your illness, telling him you smoked and that could be a side effect. Like, I was really real with my dad, and you're here praying for Liverpool's downfall. Downfall, you fucking idiot. Anyway, that happened, and then I was just sitting. So in the morning, I was making suhoor, which is like breakfast for Ramadan. Muslims eat before the morning prayer, which is 5 a.m. where I am in Kenya, different times around the world. And my and I just brought it up because I knew I'm the only Liverpool fan in the house, and I know my mom, my brothers and dad are gonna bring it up. So I brought it up first. I was like, wow, Liverpool is out of the league. How frustrating. And then they started teasing me. And I said, if you guys lose tonight, just know you guys teased me today. Of course, they didn't lose. How could they lose? They won 6-0 or 7-0, like I remember the game before. So I decided to go on a walk. And on my walk, I listened to an episode of Omar Suleiman, and then Leo Skepi popped up on the episode. And I really, really love Leo Skepi because he was talking about. Wait, where's my phone? 1 second. Let me actually just find the episode and read it to you guys. It's episode 31 of the Aware and aggravated podcast, and it's episode 31, which says they were just a lesson, let them go. And I found that very interesting because I was having a conversation with my uncle the other day, and I was telling him, I think I have officially been rejected for the first time romantically. And I explained the whole situation to him, and I was basically like, it could be a bunch of things. Either yes, this person isn't the best communicator, not gonna make it. He's like, are you really sitting down making excuses for this person? But I'm like, listen, I know when the connection is there, the connection is there. So I was kind of dealing with rejection on the romantic fort and Liverpool fort. That is what set the precedent for this episode. I was on my walk in the morning, and that's what I usually do when I'm frustrated or need to sort and work through my emotions. Put on my headphones, listen to music or a podcast, and just go for a walk and process things, move my body, like channel that energy in that way. And on this walk, I was listening to Leo Scapi, and he made some very good points about being human and then it's okay to fuck up. It's okay to fuck up. And I was talking to my cousin a few days ago, and she about romantic stuff specifically, and she was like, "You can afford to fuck up a couple of times. Like you're young, it's fine." And I don't want to say the perfectionist in me, but the me that has rejected dating and being in the modern world so much has been like, "Oh hell no!" So like I was linking it back to my uncle. I was like, "Hey." He's like, how do you accept that? Like, oh, why are you comfortable with that being okay? And I was like, listen, I'm putting myself out there because I don't know the scene and how people behave and how people be. All I know is I see people's games and bullshit, and I'm not here for it. So this time I was kind of just exploring, and he's like, okay, that makes sense. Rejection, however, is such a yucky feeling. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how rejection hurts, ways to get through it, and the importance of sitting in those emotions. While researching for this episode, an interesting thing I found is the brain science of rejection, and scientifically, it's proven rejection triggers the same pain receptors as a physical injury. Guys, how insane is that? My brother had an accident 2 weeks ago, both of them actually. The brother that follows me and my youngest brother, one brother on his back while playing football and my youngest brother on his wrist, and he had to have a bandage for 2 weeks, like proper wrapped up and everything. And my other brother who had a back injury couldn't even pray properly. Like that's how serious the injury was. Just to give you guys context of physical pain and how it manifests in the body, rejection is the exact same way. Like you actually feel the pain. With humans, I also believe there's this evolutionary need for belonging. Humans are wired, like we are really wired to seek acceptance. Rejection taps into our primal fear of being cast out. Nobody wants to be left out. Nobody wants to be the one standing out, the sore thumb, like something's different, something's awkward about you. And I think when I think of different institutions, like when we think of primary school, elementary school, even high school, where if you really don't have that, if you haven't cultivated that self love, self acceptance, and self being, you really feel rejected and not accepted by society. But who is society? I'm going to link this part to like beauty standards because I have had this conversation a bunch of times, even on the podcast with a few guests that are upcoming. Who the hell tells us what beauty standards are? Yes, I get it. People need to be fit and healthy. But like one time it's like you have to have a flat tummy and no butt. Another time you have to have hips, boobs, butt. Like you really can never win. At one point you have to have a slim nose or a thick nose or um this type of eye or this whatever. Like there is no winning. The beauty industry is constantly bombarding us with things to make us feel less than, for them to profit on us, which is very fucked up. I was thinking of the meme. Another important thing that I feel like links to rejection is our inner child's megaphone. When we are rejected, we tend to feel like we are the problem. Maybe I'm not good enough. What if I don't get another chance for this job application? What you may think I'm growing old or I don't have enough money or whatever you feel like you lack. it's easy for us to critique ourselves in various ways. And I think it's important to give yourself grace because we never know the situation. If it's a job you're applying for, you don't know if you're not suitable for that job. Maybe you wouldn't be a fit culturally. Maybe there's something more good that's coming your way. Maybe you're too qualified for that role. Like, I like to think of it in terms of acting. For example, there's people who really want to book, there's actors who really want to book a role but cannot book the role because either they're not a good fit. It could be their aesthetics, it could be their way of acting, it could be their chemistry with another person, it could be the creator of the project wants to go another way, or they are more suitable for another role. Like, you never really know, and it's easy to blame ourselves, and I think it's important to stop doing that and let that go. The important thing is to understand why rejection feels this way and what are we linking it to internally, or like what feelings are we linking this to. When I was explaining this romantic relationship to my uncle, he was like, I took a deep breath, and as I breathed it out, he was like, I want you to sit in that discomfort and feel the feelings. I want you to understand how discomfort feels. And I think sitting in discomfort is such an important thing. I've been doing that for the past 3 weeks, both romantically with Liverpool and even in different aspects of my life. And I just think the first feeling I had, which I'm assuming many people have too, is the urge to escape. I try to distract myself with various things, and you can find yourself doing this either with Netflix, social media, over analyzing, jumping into the next thing too fast. Okay, I don't do that, but some people do that, and that's a way of escaping. But there's so much power in feeling it. There's so much power in allowing yourself to fully experience rejection, and this can help lessen the grip rejection has on you. It also really prevents these emotions from bubbling up and spilling into different aspects of your life, which I find is very easy to do. The true challenge with rejection is to accept that these people do not these when think of it this way, when you rejected somebody, you didn't hate them or dislike them. It's just it wasn't suitable for you in that moment. And so there was not too many feelings like hatred towards this person. You probably either felt embarrassed to tell this person or it was uncomfortable in a way. And it's the same way, vice versa. Don't connect the rejection with what you're lacking. That's very huge. Also, don't accuse them of cowardice or try and figure out what the situation is. It could be, oh, they're not a good communicator, or oh, they are have mommy issues or daddy issues, or just came out of a toxic relationship, or are not ready to date, or don't feel financially like secure or comfortable in their own space, or maybe they're just not emotionally there to be in a like, do not assume things because you will never know unless the person communicates, and you're just beating yourself up. I did a whole episode on closure, and when I think back on it, it actually makes me think like, hey, as much as sometimes we need closure, we need to give ourselves that closure because some people are never going to give you that closure. And you need to do it for yourself. The wonderful scientist Alain de Botton, okay, I will link his video on rejection down below. He has such a beautiful way of phrasing this. So definitely check that out down below. Finally, I'm going to give you guys some tactical ways to deal with rejection. The first thing I do, which is going on a walk and just absorbing the feelings, is I journal. I pop up my notes app on my phone and I journal the raw truth. No filtering, no silver linings, just what it feels like in the moment. By doing this, I get to see how it was. And sometimes in our head, we overthink things. And then when you write things down, like, this is what happened, da 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 da, and then you can kind of see what you're overthinking or what you're missing. And also, this helps you name emotions you're feeling. Instead of saying, I feel like a failure, say, I feel embarrassed or I feel disappointed. Specifically, naming emotions helps you move on with rejection and process this. Another thing I like to do is breathing. I take a deep breath in and then I hold and then I let it out. My mom's car is like a fucking sauna right now. It's very hot, so just bear with me. But breathing through the discomfort rather than stuffing it down makes a huge difference. I feel like the load is lifted off of my I was about to say breasts, my chest. That's the word because I'm holding my chest. And I think reframing rejection without toxic positivity is another interesting element that people tend to do. Like you see online stories of people saying rejection is redirection. It's like someone's biggest no led to a yes. An example I can think of this is Dochi. Dochi. Nikuje? Ah, so when you think of Dochi, you think of how she was rejected. She was fired in 2020, and then she went to different internships to get jobs in the music industry and pursued her creativity in that way. So I think learning to accept that maybe something better is coming along, or it wasn't the right fit. You may never know. Rejection isn't an endpoint; it's a plot twist. Do it for the plot, my beautiful humans, and live life that way. Think of the main characters in your favorite shows and movies. They experience things and rejection. Rejection is absolutely going to happen in this life, and sitting through it is very important and helpful. I'm going to end this with my favorite mantra for episodes. Not episodes. I'm going to end this with my favorite mantra for in life. A favorite personal mantra is this too shall pass. The good, the bad, the ugly. See you next week, my beautiful aliens. I hope you enjoyed this episode.